Welcome to Velotech's podcast, Zero Trust Bytes, where automation meets security. Episode 2. Two.
All right.
This is crazy, man. We did episode 1. It exploded. We have over 30 views.
More than that. I think it doubled.
We got more than that,
I think it's 60 now.
but it's a start.
Yes.
Right, John?
It's great.
Is a start. John says it's a start.
I love it.
Nowhere near his 35,000.
35,000. What?
Yeah, we got to get his viewers to watch our stuff, so that'll happen. But guess what? Let's get into today's episode. Software-defined perimeter. We got to block the perimeter. So, hey, as network engineers, firewalls have been our focus. We thought cybersecurity, as long as we get the routes set up, BGP, OSPF, ERGRP, ISIS, static routes, we're done pointing to the firewall, DMZ.
It's old school.
Old school.
Legacy.
A legacy.
Not enough.
Not enough
anymore.
Why?
Ports, IP addresses, it's just too big, too broad. We got to go granular. We got to go much deeper down.
Yes, the word granular. We got to get deeper down. So that's what we're going to do in this episode today, episode 2. We're going to get deep down into the software-defined perimeter part of it. We're going to talk a little bit about what SDP is. It's been around for a while. We've been talking about SDP. I remember 3-4 years ago, a vendor, I don't want to say their names, but they were talking about SDP, and they got a lot of traction. They thought, hey, what's the word mean? But I think their ideology was good.
What was it? What were they talking about?
Well, they were talking about micro-segmentation. They were talking about granular level tracking of data flows, kind of like almost what you would do with NetFlow in real time, but, you know, not so focused as in NetFlow, because NetFlow is very CPU intensive, or GPU if you have one. But we're gonna discuss SDP. We're gonna talk a little bit about how StructuraIO can automate and configure SDP in Appgate. So we got another vendor. So we're not just talking about Azure. We're not talking about Google. We're not talking about AWS. We're talking about Appgate. So if you got a product out there and it makes sense to fit into the Zero Trust initiative, we're going to bring you up.
Yeah.
And
Comment, guys. Let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, guys.
Because if you don't let us know, then we can't get you the information, right? Because that's the key thing. But let's get deep into this, Kamel. Let's talk about the benefits and how it can enhance our understanding, how it can enhance the security of an organization. Let's get started, and let's get them into this episode 2. Sounds good, Kamel?
Sounds good. I'm excited.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Episode 2. So, first thing that I want to talk about, and before we get into the topic, let's talk about our giveaway.
Man.
Dude.
These are hot.
Come on.
This is fire. ¿Tú no sabes este fuego?
Zoom into this thing?
I speak Spanish. I do. This is a big deal. You want to know why? We made these ourselves. These are for our subscribers. We want to show you how much we care for you. If my daughter taught me correct, that's a heart. Can you guys see that? Is that corazón? Heart? Okay. We want to show you our love. And how we're going to show you our love is by giving you guys one of these gifts. But we got Jocelyn. She's going to break this down a little bit deeper. She's going to you need a deeper view into this, because this is like Zero Trust, multiple layers.
Little close up. Yeah. Show this. And what about the wallet? We got the wallet too, right?
Man, they're not ready for that wallet,
dude,
man. Look at that. My word.
Look at that wallet.
That's hot.
Ooh.
Let's hand it over to Jocelyn. She's going to tell us a little bit more about these gifts, eh?
All right. Sounds good. Let us know, Jocelyn.
Hello, viewers. We have a special giveaway to announce to all the early subscribers. You have a chance to win a StructuraIO wallet or a Zero Trust coin. Click on the description below for instructions on how to enter the giveaway. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in every week for more giveaways. Back to you, Camille.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Muchas gracias.
That was awesome.
I heard her say de nada.
De nada?
She said de nada. You know what that means. Hey, guess what? We're going to get into the Zero Trust world by showing a beautiful demo of our Appgate implementation.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show you how software-defined perimeter has been implemented and how you could revolutionize your architecture just by doing a few things in the infrastructure that you already have configured today, right?
Yep.
We're going to get started by teaching you how organizations can take this approach. And this approach is part of the Zero Trust activities that we're going to go through. We're going through 152.
152.
We went through one already in episode 1.
Yep.
This is number 2.
Yep.
We're going to go through a lot of them. If you're a vendor and you got something out there that's cutting edge, that is part of the Zero Trust initiative and forum, and you want to talk to us about it, and we can see if it fits and actually operates in a Zero Trust paradigm, let us know, and we'd be interested in showcasing and maybe checking it out, right?
Challenge us.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, let's see what you got. You got something? Let's go. All right, Kamel, let's get started on this.
Let's do it.
So talk to me.
All right. So first, let's just do a little bit of a background of Zero Trust architecture.
Okay.
I mean, that's the whole podcast. We're talking about Zero Trust and Zero Trust. Now, of course, Zero Trust is an approach to cybersecurity that assumes no trust, even within the network perimeter. And that's what we're talking about today, the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
It challenges the traditional security model that relies on a trusted internal network and focuses on securing every user, device, and application, regardless of their location, right? I mean, Zero Trust, I think, kind of predicated on the whole lockdown of the world and people working from home and bring your own device. It challenged the security landscape.
Yeah, it did.
How do we secure individuals that are working from anywhere? So I think Zero Trust gained a lot of traction during that time.
Okay.
So, of course, Zero Trust architecture aims to minimize the risk of data breaches and unauthorized access by implementing strict access controls, continuous monitoring, and strong authentication mechanisms.
Yeah. That sounds like a strong or significant mind shift that needs to happen on how software-defined perimeter fits into the Zero Trust architecture framework.
Yes, absolutely. You're correct. It is a significant shift in mindset because, as we just said, it's not the traditional network perimeter, the trusted network.
Yeah.
You know, people are working from different locations, from coffee shops, from the Bahamas or something. You never know. I mean, that's nice, but you got to be safe.
Sorry.
So no, it's we can laugh about it, but it's a serious thing because we want to be protected. We don't want our data to be breached. As we said in our last episode, data is the new oil. Right?
Yeah.
We have to protect it. So Zero Trust is a security framework that assumes no trust in any user or device, regardless of their location, as we just mentioned. It is based on the principles of device enforcement, strong identities, and data centricity. SDP with Appgate is a solution that aligns perfectly with these Zero Trust principles by providing secure access to resources based on user identity and device posture. So it creates a granular, micro-segmented network architecture that ensures only authorized users can access specific resources.
Yeah, that's good. So Appgate SDP acts as software-defined perimeter, creating an invisible shield around resources. Okay.
Yep.
And the controller that they have acts like a policy decision point.
Yes.
So part of the Zero Trust architecture, you're going to hear the term PDP. So that's the policy decision point. So this controller is acting as the policy decision point, and it's responsible for defining and enforcing policies based off of a user's identity, okay, device posture, and other contexts and other factors that are in there that Appgate has mixed in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a key word there, policy decision point.
PDP.
So PDP. The other one's PDP.
Yeah, you know me, you PDP, and you know me. PDP. Yeah, you know me.
That's right. So PDP, policy decision point, that's NIST 800-207 zero trust architecture. Policy decision point is made up of your policy engine, which is the controller, and then the policy administrator, which is you, which is me, because we got to tell the engine what to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an engine.
Then the other thing is you have the controller that you're feeding these decisions, but you got to enforce it, right? That's the policy enforcement point. So that's your Appgate gateway. That's where the importance comes in, because you got your untrusted sources and your subject trying to reach the resources that you want to protect, and has to go through that gateway. So that's your policy enforcement point. That's what's going to say yes or no to allow you access to your resources.
That's a great point right there. Yeah, by separating PDP and PEP functions, the Appgate software-defined perimeter ensures granular and dynamic approach to access control, right? So policies can be defined based on a wide range of different features that are out there. So you got the users, roles, you got device health, you got location, and you got a time of access. So all I'm hearing in this audience is we're getting deeper.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting deeper. So it's almost like taking firewall, and then, you know, we had next-gen firewalls that come out that have a whole bunch of different features that can do time-based control, application identity flows. It just keeps on getting deeper. But really what we're doing is we're taking those next-gen functions, we're breaking them apart, and we're just moving it closer and closer to the data.
Micro firewalls.
Micro firewall. You want a firewall? You get a firewall.
Everybody gets a firewall.
Everyone gets a firewall.
You get a firewall.
You get a firewall. Do you want a firewall? Jose said he wants.
Heck yeah. I'll take a firewall.
We're going to give them micro firewalls, because firewalls are very expensive. It depends
are.
which one you want, too. But we're talking about Appgate today. So
That's right. That's right. So exactly, this granular control that we're just talking about allows organizations to implement the zero trust architecture effectively. Okay. It minimizes the attack surface, reduces the risk of lateral movement, which is a key component to zero trust, and it provides a strong defense against unauthorized access and potential breaches.
Okay. Yeah, that's fascinating as usual. So like I said, we're moving firewall functionality, next-gen functionality, deeper and deeper. But let's talk about something that's hot. Structura.
Oh, yes.
IO.
Structura.
In all of this, you need to have something where you can automate. You need something that can orchestrate this. In episode 1, we talked about Microsoft's geolocation conditional access.
Yep.
Think about having 10,000, 20,000 users. You think you're going to be writing PowerShell scripts to do that?
Yeah,
and then
right.
You're going to write an Ansible script to do something with SDP, and then you're going to do a Python script to do something on the network. I mean, it's just everyone's fighting. So here at Villatech, we built a tool. It's called StructuraIO. And this tool basically is going to help automate and configure an SDP platform like Appgate. So Kamel, can you explain how Structura simplifies the process of implementing zero trust?
Oh, yes. Certainly. StructuraIO. Love that tool.
Yes.
Such a great tool. So let me tell you, StructuraIO is an advanced zero trust automation and orchestration tool. Okay. It provides a drag and drop interface that helps developers write Terraform code, including configurations for Appgate SDP, which is what we're going to be showing today. With StructuraIO, users can easily create and configure resources using built-in schemas, plan the deployment to understand the changes, and then apply the changes to their infrastructure goals. It eliminates the need for manual configuration and reduces the learning curve for inexperienced users, which that is probably one of my favorite things, because I'm not a developer. I'm an engineer, so it takes a very long time for me to learn how to code.
Yeah.
But I got this great tool to just talk to it, actually. I can now talk to the tool, and it can build me my resources, which is amazing.
And you're not joking, because it does have natural language processing in it that you have the ability to talk to it. So if you wanted to use your mouth and you wanted to say, build me Terraform code that can tie Appgate SDP into this, generate the code. It would do its best to try to figure out.
Yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't advise any of the users to do that, because you may push something into production that the business might not be happy with. So
Do it in Sandbox first.
all
maybe.
things in Sandbox, please, or digital twin.
That's right, the digital twin.
Yeah, sounds like
Great
a
point.
very powerful tool. Could you give us a demo, Kamel? Because remember, this podcast is beyond talking.
Yeah.
Because we got PowerPoints and slides that everyone's talking about and showing. We want to show a demo. Let's show them how we configure. And
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I do want to get to the demo, but I do want to bring up some exciting news in the headlines.
so we got this, not the Bears this time, right?
No, nothing
Okay.
about the Bears. That
Well,
was just something that was last time. But
Okay.
this time, I think there's a lot of announcements and events going on. Okay. Microsoft Ignite had their massive event. AWS reInvent is having their massive event.
Mm-hmm.
And there seems to be a common underlying theme. Okay. It's 2 words: generative AI.
Yeah.
Massive
Yes.
going on.
Yes.
Generative AI. If you don't get on board with it, I don't know what's wrong with you, first of all, because it's a game changer. Absolute game changer. And you're probably asking, like, well, what does this matter? Why are we talking about generative AI? This is a Zero Trust podcast. I'm going to tell you why. Generative AI is going to speed up the implementation of your Zero Trust architecture. Just remember that. We can't be here sitting and waiting until 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. We got to get this stuff done now. We don't have time to waste. See, that guy, he knew.
Yeah, he's honking at us because he's telling us right now, hey, he agrees.
Yeah,
right now.
Zero Trust.
So I don't know if you see this shirt here, but it says Artificial General Intelligence.
Oh, nice.
So to all of my viewers out there, I do know a little bit about it because I have the shirt. But beyond the shirt, here's what I will tell you when I had the opportunity to do my artificial intelligence class with MIT for their the C-Cell program that they have. And what I learned and I got back from that was, for the developers and the implementers and the builders of technology for the future, artificial intelligence is going to be part of your use case if you don't start now.
Yeah.
It will be forced into your use case. There'll be laggers. Of course, we were early implementers. They would consider us a little bit more of the pioneering side of things. But what that did was it gave us the ability to redefine our go-to-market strategy. And AI became, or AGI became, a focus that we went after and making sure that it was part of our Zero Trust framework and what we were doing. So I told the team, guys, automation, orchestration, we have to look at tools that are using artificial intelligence. We understand that the DoD has kind of put a little bit of a pause on AI. They're not so ready to do it because they want boundaries and guardrails and controls. We understand
Responsible
that.
AI.
Yeah, that's fine. And they need to make sure that their data is protected and nothing's getting leaked.
Sure.
And that they don't have accidents where they have warfare plans and designs and architectures that
The
get
opposite of Zero Trust. Data leakage everywhere.
zero
Unzero.
trust, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. But
100% trust.
100%.
100% trust. Yeah, that's a good slogan. I
Yeah.
like that. No, we don't approve that one.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Nice. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up because it's just a very hot topic, important topic, and it's like you mentioned, get on board because it's only going to help everybody, and it's going to help your life, it's going to help your job, and it's going to help our Zero Trust implementation.
Sounds good.
So as we mentioned, we wanted to show a demo.
I think we need to have an intro just for the demo,
That's
but
what I was
it's
trying to
right
do.
here.
Demo.
It's demo time.
Okay, we'll get a professional one in here.
Yeah, that wasn't that good, but
Okay.
we'll get something better.
Yep. So I'll walk you through a demo of the Appgate SDP Controller, where StructuraIO is going to be doing some configurations. So here we go. In this demonstration, I will show how we at Villatech use StructuraIO to implement configurations in Appgate SDP for a zero trust architecture. First, let's see the project workspace. As you can see here, we plan to implement and configure a couple of local users, a client profile, and a pair of policy and entitlements that one of them is going to be for RDP and the other is going to be for SSH. Let me drill down into one of these entitlement resources to take a closer look at what we will be deploying. When clicking into the entitlement resource, you can see that we have the action configured for allowing the TCP port 22 for any host that is tagged with SSH in our Azure environment. Now let's get ready to plan the deployment. So I'm going to open up the console here and then click Plan to run the plan. And this will check the environment for how many changes to add. As you can see here, we have 7 resources to add, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy, because we don't have anything in the environment that's currently deployed. And then we can also verify this by going into the Appgate dashboard and confirming that is correct. So if I were to go to our policies, you can see that there are no policies except the default built-in policy. There are no entitlements. There are no local users except for the default admin user, and then there's no client profiles except the default test client profile. So now that that is confirmed, we can go back to the Structura dashboard and run our apply to implement those changes. So let's do that now. So as you can see here, we have the 7 resources that have been completed and have been applied to the Appgate SDP controller. But let's confirm that. So if I click the refresh here, you can see that our development client profile has been created. Our access policy for RDP and SSH has been created as well. Our entitlements for RDP and SSH has been created as well. And then if we go to our local users, you can see that we have the 2 users that were created, as well as the tags that have been applied to their respective user, which in this case, the first user has SSH and the second user has RDP. Now let's go confirm this in the devices if that is the case. So for the first user, we'll go ahead and log in. And you'll see that the first user has the SSH entitlement configured, and let's also confirm that for the second user. And there you have it. It does have the RDP entitlement in here as well. But let's confirm that this actually does work. So we'll open up a PuTTY session, and this is our Ubuntu SSH session that we want to log into. And you can see that we were able to successfully log in. If I were to sign out of this user, you can see that I no longer have access to that Linux machine. Now let's try this for our second user on the RDP session. If I were to connect to our RDP session and put in our password, you can see that we were able to successfully log into our device. And same thing, if I were to sign out of this user, I now lost my connectivity to that RDP device. So let's go back to the Structura console and make another change. Say, for example, I'd like to duplicate a client profile and create another one in the environment. I'll just go ahead and select that and duplicate it. We'll call this something different, like test3, test3, make this test3,
as well. We'll save that. Okay, everything has been validated and correct. Let's go ahead and run the plan. It shows that we have one resource to add. I'll go ahead and, well, before we apply it, let's just make sure that we don't have anything there right now. We only have the two that we were showing earlier. So let's go ahead and deploy the second or third client profile. Okay, so that's been completed. Let's go ahead and validate that in the controller, and you can see that our test 3 client profile has been created. Let's also try to make another change. Let's say, for example, that I don't want the second user to have RDP in the tags, so it won't have RDP in its capabilities to access. I'll go ahead and save that, and then you can see our tags code structure was automatically updated. And then I'll go ahead and run the plan. So in this case, the resource is already created, but we want to just change it by removing the RDP tag. So I'll go ahead and apply that. That change has been completed. Let's go to our user's profile, and you can see that the second user no longer has the RDP tag. And we can confirm this as well by going to the second user's device. Let's just minimize that. And you can see it can no longer access a policy set because there is no policy built to this second user. Now, if I wanted to bring back that user to have its policy, but instead of RDP, let's give it SSH. So I'll go ahead and copy this tag structure, and I'll apply it to this person. We'll save that. I'll go ahead and run the plan. We should show that there is another change to the environment. In this case, we're going to be adding SSH. I'll go ahead and apply the change. Okay, modification has been completed. Let's go to our user and try to connect again. And there you have it. The second user now has the Ubuntu SSH entitlement allowed to access that Linux server. So that concludes the demonstration for the Structura being able to help us quickly automate the changes in the Appgate SDP controller, which in this case we did a couple of changes for the local user tag and duplicated a client profile, in addition to setting up a profile, 2 users, and a pair of access policies and entitlements.
That was impressive.
Pretty good, right?
That was impressive. And that's great to see organizations embracing Appgate SDP. That they got a great product out there to enhance security. Kamal, could you walk us a little bit through the benefits of implementing Appgate's SDP in a zero trust architecture? You showed us a demo on how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Just let's kind of consolidate this and talk to the audience a little bit about the benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. So implementing Appgate SDP in the zero trust architecture offers several benefits. Number 1, enhanced security. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? We got to enhance and modernize our security practices.
Yeah.
So SDP provides a robust security framework that ensures only authorized users can access specific resources. It reduces the attack surface and minimizes the risk of unauthorized users. That's a key one, I think. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yep. Number 2, simplified access management. Okay. With SDP, organizations can centralize access management and enforce consistent access policies across their network. It simplifies the management process and improves overall security. I mean, just think about it. It's like you mentioned. Could you imagine having to write a firewall rule for 10,000 users for each port and protocol and application?
I know that there's that there. I know that well, we're laughing now, but there's organizations that we've worked on.
Yeah.
That they have over 5,000 pages of firewall rules, and think about the logic. Because firewall rules look at from top down sometimes and bottom up sometimes. So think about the performance issues that they have there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the third thing that I would say is granular control, right? That's what we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
But granular control, Appgate SDP enables that over access privileges, allowing organizations to define access policies based on user identity, as we keep mentioning, device posture, and contextual information. This ensures that access is granted based on specific criteria, enhancing security and compliance. And then, of course, I think the most important benefit, the major benefit, is that StructuraIO can help automate all these things.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have some kind of tool that, and it's not just Structura. There could be other tools out there, but of course, we're focusing on Structura because that's the tool that we use to do a lot of the implementations audience. But it could be any tool out there. I know they're going to be hearing, these guys pump this word Structura all the time. Well, we pump it because it's the tool that we use. But there are other tools that are out there that you can use, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So organizations should consider these factors such as network architecture, scalability, and integration with existing security solutions. It's important to plan the implementation carefully, okay, and ensure that the solution aligns with the organization's specific needs and requirements. Every organization is different.
Yeah.
Right? Every agency is different. Some are multinational. Some are local. Some have different regulatory compliancy frameworks.
Yeah, not all of them are following the NIST 853 RMF framework to the T, right? So they're, some overriding. Some of them are following 60% of the, so every branch, every agency has a different requirement, and we totally understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, what are some of the frameworks that we're doing today that we're working on? I think it was NIST 853 revision 5, PCI DSS compliance, HIPAA, some other NIST frameworks, CMMC level 3.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Yeah, the NIST 800-171 revision 3, which is new, right? So it's a newly updated one. Totally understand.
Yeah, so all those factors are important, and then additionally, I think this is another key one, is that user education and training are crucial to ensure that employees understand the new access paradigm and follow these best practices.
Yes, very, very, very true. So that's a very good point. Hey, those are compelling benefits, Kamel. It's clear that Appgate has Appgate SDP and Structura using it as a valuable tool for implementation. So really, at the end of the day, our goal here in the Zero Trust Bytes podcast is all about implementing the implementation component of it, right? So we want to show you that we have tools, and this is a particular tool that we have, and Appgate's one of the products out there that we can help automate. So Kamel, is there any consideration or challenges when you were working on that demo that organizations should be aware of when they are implementing SDP in their production environments?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges was just organization, right? You don't want to just give entitlements and access policies to anybody.
Right.
You want to define those policies.
Yeah.
You want to understand who should be getting certain set of policies, if it's a global level or if it's a granular user level.
Yeah.
You want to clearly define those requirements from the beginning. Because once you get into the configurations and you're deep into it, and then you got to go back and restructure everything, that takes time, and that just slows down a lot of things. So if you clearly define your requirements from the get-go, that'll help out a lot.
Yeah, that's valuable advice, Kamel. It's very important approach to implementing Zero Trust. In this particular case, Appgate's SDP was the example audience. And with careful consideration and planning, you're going to be able to implement a truly, I would say, advanced level Zero Trust.
I would agree with that for sure. Yeah.
Target is kind of what the DoD's aiming for, right? I don't know, what's that? 90? Is it 92?
91. 91 is the target. Yeah.
91
152
activities.
is the advanced level.
152 is the advanced. we're kind of trying to take it to the next level. You know, we're starting with advanced and we're trying to get to optimal, right? Where optimal is a little bit more where a lot of the automation, AI, and that kind of logic, and we'll get there. But this was an amazing podcast again. Why? Because the audience got to see a little bit of the coin.
Yep.
Because you got to drop those coins.
That's right.
Drop that coin.
Are we gonna get those the necklaces?
You know, I was thinking about that. I haven't heard anything from the viewers. They didn't say anything about getting ice and, putting this as a chain. So I don't think they think that's a great idea. So we'll listen to them and we'll keep our mouths quiet on that one. But hey, this concludes our episode. Yes. Let me just take a breath right now.
A little emotional there.
Yeah, just automation meets security. We hope you found this episode intriguing. This was particularly on automating Appgate SDP and its role in the zero trust architecture. And I hope this was informative. Stay tuned. Guess what? We got more podcasts coming. More podcasts that are going to talk about more implementation, more designs, more ways to implement zero trust. Now, here's the thing. If you take these podcasts and you start building a zero trust network, you better call us because I got a PO. I got an invoice for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to call us and you got to tell us because we need to talk. We're, don't be taking the stuff and then leaving us out of it. We're family, baby. We're family. You know what I'm saying? Family.
Help us out.
Okay. So let me calm down. So thank you guys for this episode 2, for joining us at Zero Trust Villatech's podcast, Zero Trust Bytes.
That's right.
Thank you, Kamel, for joining. Thank you, Jocelyn, for marketing. Thank you for our team, our production team that's been giving us guidance. I hope we're getting better.
We are getting better. Each time we're getting better, they're like...
Well, they're pointing us to get better.
Yeah.
So we're going to start to learn to look at the cameras more often. So we're not just talking to ourselves. We are reading from our notes, so we will get better at this. But, what do you have to say, Kamel?
Well, Miguel, thank you. And I just want to have a closing thought here. Remember, in the world of cybersecurity, trust no one and embrace zero trust. Until next time, stay secure.